Breaking news. There are two choices we can make to stop a future Russian invasion of Ukraine. When Russia's war on Ukraine finally ends, the difficult task of protecting Ukraine from further aggression will begin. Ukraine's powerful neighbor, Russia, has a zero-tolerance policy toward Ukraine's independence and is prepared to pay enormous personal costs to wipe the country off the map. Ukraine will need effective means to deter Russia from resuming the war in the future unless the war ends in some comprehensive peace settlement, which is unlikely as long as Russian President Vladimir Putin or anyone like him remains in power. A new Belarusian campsite, complete with the scent of freshly cut wood, may soon be home to Russia's Wagner fighters, who staged a brief rebellion against the leaders of the Russian military at the end of last month. The Kremlin and Wagner leader Yevgeny Prigozhin reached an agreement for the end of the mutiny and for Prigozhin and some of his men to relocate to neighboring Belarus with the help of Belarusian leader Alexander Lukashenko. On Thursday, however, Lukashenko threw that agreement into doubt by saying that Prigozhin and his mercenaries weren't even in the country. An advisor to the Belarusian Ministry of Defense said, "If you're looking for them, you won't find them here." Kaczynski was giving a group of foreign journalists a tour of the camp in central Belarus as part of their rare invitation to visit the country for a roundtable interview with Lukashenko. All around him, the 300 tents that could house 5,000 people were empty, save for one where a few guards were taking a break. According to Kaczynski, the tents have been set up for upcoming fall training exercises. After satellite images of construction work at the camp began to circulate in media reports around the time of the mutiny, speculation grew that it could be used for Wagner fighters. Lukashenko denied that Belarus was constructing a new facility and instead claimed that he had offered Wagner use of decommissioned military bases, including one in Celle. Kaczynski suggested, now that the base is ready, Wagner might be offered it. If there is no other option. Osipovichi, a town close to Celle, was torn apart by disagreements over the possible arrival of thousands of Wagner fighters. Many countries, including Ukraine, the Central African Republic, and Syria, have accused men from the private mercenary group of committing atrocities. "I am very worried. I just want my kids to be able to grow up in peace." A woman who wished to remain anonymous said, "That's all I can say because I'm afraid to reveal any further information." Lukashenko has increased repression of critical voices since the 2020 protests against his re-election. However, some locals have stated that they are not concerned. "I have no worries." Yelena Vinglinskaya, a 45-year-old kindergarten teacher, said, "If it needs to be done, it needs to be done." Wagner's presence in Belarus itself is fraught with controversy. About 30 Wagner fighters were arrested in Belarus in the run-up to Lukashenko's contested re-election in 2020. They were accused of plotting to destabilize the country. Right to Moscow. Wagner has emerged from obscurity since then, especially in the context of the conflict in Ukraine. After years of denial, Prigozhin admitted he was the private army's founder and became an outspoken critic of Russia's military leadership. Rivalries between Prigozhin and the regular army were revealed during the battle for the eastern Ukrainian city of Bakhmut, which his mercenaries led. Prigozhin's armed rebellion on June 23 and 24 was the greatest challenge to Russian President Vladimir Putin's authority since these tensions began. Wagner's presence in Belarus, according to Vinglinskaya, could be another way to protect the population. Kaczynski concurred. "I don't see why we'd be at odds with the Wagner crew," he said. "We are not going to be in any kind of competition." He told reporters, "We're going to get their special combat experience." The deal that was supposed to put an end to the mutiny and put Lukashenko in a position of power is still shrouded in mystery. Kaczynski remarked, "Ultimately, Wagner and its commanders will decide where they are stationed.